Welcome to the Grange. My name's Jenny Rieger. I'm the site coordinator here, and I'm going to be taking you on the tour today.
The Grange is the oldest standing residential brick house in Toronto. It was built in 1817.
This place being given to the museum was really the first step for an art museum in Toronto.
Our tour really begins about 18 months ago when I received some papers from a man named James White in Boston. And it turns out that James's great uncle, I always get the greats wrong, was the butler here from 1817 to 1858. But what was really intriguing was in amongst these papers was a floor plan of the house with X's and dates on it. And when I did some more investigating, I realized it actually wasn't a floor plan at all. It was a map.
This map was actually a map of the house and the garden, and it was covered with little X's and dates. And the title on the map was, strangely enough, Amber, A-M-B-E-R.
And what had happened was that in 1828, Henry White hired a young 17-year-old Irish girl, just arrived in Canada from Ireland, to be a servant here. And one day he noticed her picking at the wax on the base of a candlestick. You know how we all do that. It's always fun to pick the wax off. Well, she was warming it in her hand, making a ball out of it, and putting it in her apron pocket. And he thought this was rather odd, but he didn't do anything about it. It wasn't very much wax. I mean, it was no big deal. And then one day he noticed her in the stable hiding something. And when he went to look at the stable, he found that she had hidden under one of the floorboards a ball of wax.
What is interesting here is that the wax always contains something else.
So we were able to bring in Anthropological Services of Ontario, and Dr. Chantal Lee is the project manager, to actually excavate the sites on the map that indicated that there was wax hidden. And that's what we're going to be taking you on a tour of today. So the first thing I want to show you is this site here. Originally, this was a square wall with a square staircase. The round staircase was put in during the restoration in the 1970s. So she's not actually banging a hole in the wall that everyone would see. She was probably just working it behind the floorboard. And the object is this one over here in this case.
It is this handmade pinch pot that was made of unfired clay. And inside it, if you read the label, it shows that there are some flakes of dried blood of a Caucasian female woman.
So what you can see here is quite typical of what I will show you in the other objects, in the fact that it's physically very personal. You have the shape of the palm. If you look at the shape of the pot, it's really done in the palm of the hand. You have a fingerprint in the lid, so it's like a signature. It's a lot of clues leading to nowhere so far, and we have a lot of that. So I'll take you to the library now.
So this is the library that was added on in the 1880s by Goldwin Smith, and ASO has turned it into their lab. And what I want to talk about in here is just a couple of things. What Chantal has done, Dr. Lee has done, is for every artifact, she has taken an X-ray of it. And then she does interpretive drawings to try and further understand what she is seeing inside of it. But one of the things that's become really interesting is that she's also found that over time, Mary O'Shea, the servant girl, has changed in what she's doing. The first things that she does are these little, what Henry calls globules, little balls of wax. This one has fingernail clippings in it, a child's fingernail clippings in it. And Chantal is kind of wondering if this is sort of a folklore tradition from Ireland. Could she be doing some kind of healing ritual? Because there's an old saying that if you take a child's hair and fingernail clippings and put it under their bed, it protects them from colic.
So her habit was basically to make items encasing things, mainly very simple things like a tooth, a baby tooth, or nail clippings, or a lock of hair, the claw of a cat, some dried flowers, some crumbled papers, a lot of seeds, some insects, or as you see here, the dead man's finger, that is just called like that. It's a fungus that grows in Ontario under trees. And the way she first did it was making these marbles. And later on, she must have experienced, probably because she had her sleeping place in the attic, and the summers were so hot that the items she had created just melted away. And she came up with a different solution. She made these little pinch pots out of unfired clay and filled it with wax and embedded her items inside.
There are a few interesting trends in the way it evolves. Scale first, from small to larger and even much larger if you look at this cone here. And if you think of object 17 downstairs, which is even bigger than that, there's definitely an issue in scale.
We have these letters that I want to point out as the most ambiguous artifact that was found so far, because it was found in a hidden room. It might contain what you were alerting to. Why did she do that? It might contain some information about her emotional state or her employer situation, but we will never know, because if you would want to have access to that, we tried it with CAT scans. The ASO was doing X-rays. It was written with ink on paper in a crisscross way on both sides. Everything now is folded, patched together, and soaked with beeswax. That means there is no way to decipher it.
So these are all letters? And
These are all letters. And you would have to melt the artifact down in order to access the content.
This is creating a real problem for us, because the first thing you want to do is take all that wax off and read the letters.
Mm-hmm. The letters are still inside.
Yeah, you can see the stereoscope's set up to the computer.
And we don't want to take them out.
Oh, I do. But no, of course that would destroy the artifact.
Yeah.
So it's a real question that we have to address. How important is it for us to know what the content of these letters is versus how important it is? Well, I don't know. What do you folks think? I mean, should we destroy an artifact to get the information?
We can put it back together after we read the letters.
We can speculate a little bit about these letters because of the dates. There was a famine in Ireland, 1845 to 48, and about 2 million people died. I mean, it was a huge humanitarian catastrophe in Ireland. And so it's possible that these are the letters that Amber had received from her family. She had been saving them. She's found out her family's died, and she's memorialized the event by. It's possible these are letters that she had written to her family that someone in Ireland has actually sent back saying, "I'm sorry, your family has died," and she's done the same thing. It could be love letters for all we know, but Chantal, who's done a lot of work on the Irish famine and its effect on families, suspects pretty strongly that these are a package of family letters.
I briefly would like to go with you to some of these objects before we go to the basement, and point out how simple they actually are. I mean, they all in this showcase and look valuable, but they are really simple. And here, this one I want to point out shows the latest of her, I would say, creative actions to basically cast something in a simple way and to conserve it.
She physically involves her body in the process. You can see the finger marks.
So you can imagine, and you can see the lines of her fingers here. She's gone out into the garden, obviously at night, and she has dug a hole in the ground. And then she has poured the wax in, and there's a piece of cloth in there as well. And she's got 3 liters of wax in there. So how did she get the wax out?
Object 17 downstairs is done exactly the same way. So that's another.
This is the big thing you're going to show.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll take you downstairs then.
Yeah, good. Okay. We were upstairs in the assessment room, but here is basically the world where our maid, Mary O'Shea, so-called amber would have lived.
But when we were down here, we found some of Amber's earlier pieces. So there are about 4 or 5 little balls that they're just uncovering here now. Under some loose bricks, of course, with the heat down here around the fire. Now, it's interesting, the couple that Chantal's been able to probe have spices in them. Little bits of cinnamon, little bits of sugar. And when you think of Amber Mary O'Shea growing up in very poor conditions in Ireland, I mean, that's why the Irish were coming over even before the famine, was because of wanting a better life here and getting money to send home. Things like spices and sugar would have been really exotic and new to her. So it may be that she's just trying to capture these new special treasures in these little balls.
But I will send you now to the biggest artifact that was found so far. It is a cone of wax that contains 17 liters of beeswax, a deer bone that is inside, some fabric and a braid of hair. And it was X-rayed on spot, and it is only half excavated. And the reason that it's not absolutely excavated is that the archaeologists have a dispute whether you can excavate something without having clarified 100% that it has not a religious significance. Hello? Chantal? It looks like she's on a coffee break. Just come with me for a sec. No one will give us away.
Just checking that she's not supposed to be here today. No. Okay. So I'll take you. Another reason for coming here is that it's hot. And I'm always cold in this basement, yeah.
I've never understood why this room is so cold.
Yes, this is reconstruction of the original cone that Chantal had created by an artist friend of hers. She's been very curious as to how Mary O'Shea could have actually created this one. It's so big. I mean, the garden, imagining the garden was one thing, but imagining doing this in the house was another. There's over 15 liters of wax in here.
She also asked a model, and actually my personal opinion, I mean, she is not here at the moment, is that she's going much too far. She asked a model to basically take on 8 petticoats and the historical costume of that time period of a servant, and then remove it and basically reenact the digging of such a hole. And she came up with a situation that the length of the arm of a woman in general would be the length of such a cone. That's how deep you would go. I think if a servant in the mid-19th century would have taken off her clothes, I mean a Catholic girl, and would have caught red-handed, her career would not only have been over, but she would have had probably to face a persecution and I don't know what even. So, but anyways, that's Dr. Lee's take on it. If you have questions, I would actually prefer to answer them outside of this room so that she doesn't catch us here.
All right, we should probably get out of here now. And if you just go to the left, that will take you down the hall to the secret room. So this is what we uncovered. This is what Chantal probed through from the other side. And if you look right around here,
if you lean really deeply, you guys are not courageous, lean deeply in it. I'll show you how it looks like this. Yeah, then you can see that here is actually a door, a wooden door. So probably it was a walk-in closet. And she made it to her, what would you say?
Little art studio closet. So why is it sealed now? Why is there no?
Yeah, so probably she made it to something, to a kind of workshop.
But the really interesting thing about this for us is why was it covered in if it was a closet? And Chantal has 2 thoughts on that. One, we know Henry retires in 1857. It's possible that the family wanted to do an audit. And so they came down and found it. And were just so shocked by it that they just said, cover it up. I don't want anyone to know. I mean, they couldn't very well get rid of it. Everybody in town would know if you were getting rid of bags and bags of wax. So they may have just said plaster it over. The other speculation is that something has happened to Mary. After Henry retires, of course, we don't know, we have no more diaries about her. And her friends, the servants, just wanted to plaster it over so no one would know that it had happened.
So that's how far I can tell you about the story, and then the last discovery is behind you. And then we are basically through. So in this little, how we were kind of going to call it, cabinet, what was found there inside is a wooden bowl. It's still here. And in this bowl, there is a lump of wax. And what is identified here is, I don't know if you're able to identify it, it's a half cast of a face. Is someone able to see that? I mean, if I...
Oh. The last of the objects we found, and it's... Can you see?
Face?
Yeah.
Get you to see. Can you see what it is?
Oh yeah. What?
Can you see?
Is it a face?
It's a face. It's a profile.
Oh, yes, I just saw it, yep.
That's just a whole other mystery. Whose face? Was it Mary's? Was it another servant? Was it a friend? We've no way of knowing.
Okay. So thank you everybody for coming. I have, for each of you, I have a letter.
This letter is long. It's like legal format and small characters. What's in there, you want to know. It's not like, I know enough now, I'm okay. You want to know what's in there, really. There's some of a surprise, something that came from Chantal's research that really sheds a new light on the whole thing.
And I really encourage you to go on the webpage of ASO, because they have several cases in Ontario that are really interesting. And I thank you.
Thank you.